All right, guys, we have some big news coming out of the LCS today. We have the official Cloud9 roster for 2025. I know there had been some questions about whether certain players were getting locked, who all was coming back, when these moves were going to be official, and all that good stuff. We do have this from Sheep Esports today from Wooloo and edited by Arsh. Sources, Cloud9's completed roster for the 2025 LTA North season with Thanatos, Blabber, Loki, Sven, and Vulcan. C9's 2025 LTA and roster is complete. So Cloud9 has finalized its 2025 LTA North roster, according to Sheep Esports sources. 2024 was an undeniable disappointment for the historically dominant LCS org. Despite assembling a verifiable super team, C9 failed to qualify for either international tournament. The team will make the LTA debut, hoping to prove themselves and reclaim their throne at the top of North American LOL. With the departures of Berserker and Jojo Pune, Cloud9 needed to replace two superstar carries in the same offseason. Loki, a young Korean mid laner who played for HLE Challengers this year, was chosen as Jojo Pune's replacement, while Sven, who played for Dignitas this year, made his return to Cloud9 as an AD carry, which is pretty funny. Obviously, Berserker and Sven, that bot lane for Cloud9. Now Sven coming in as AD carry to replace Berserker. Things come in full circle, obviously, with Sven being Cloud9's AD carry previously as well. And then, Loki coming in, who I think is kind of the big question mark of this whole roster. Obviously, Vulcan didn't have the best year last year. People are skeptical about him, but we know that at his best, he can be very good. But people are wondering, is he washed? Is he past the prime of his career? Or will him and Sven be able to have some kind of resurgence? And maybe were there just more issues with the Cloud9 roster than we really knew about last year? Obviously, Thanatos is somebody that people are really excited about. Blabber, we know, is an MVP level talent at his best. Sven, another question of, I think he was actually pretty good in the times that we saw him for Dignitas last year, but definitely still rightfully so questions about him, how high his ceiling can be. Is he some guy who can take Cloud9 to a championship this year? Is he a guy who can still take Cloud9 to having international success at this point in his career? I don't know. Overall, I think this Cloud9 roster, it's okay. It's not anything insane to me. I don't think Cloud9 had this amazing offseason. I think Sven is very solid. I think he has a very, very high floor. I think Sven is a winner. He's very competitive. I don't think Sven's ever bad. But like I said, I do wonder at this stage of his career how good Sven can be. And also losing Berserker, losing Jojo Pune, like the article says, those are two huge replacements to make. No matter what, I think this offseason was going to be very, very difficult for Cloud9. And I think no matter what, their roster on paper was going to be a pretty significant downgrade, or, at least a minor downgrade, which I think this roster definitely is. But just so many questions about Cloud9. Now, yes, could they come in next year and just be an amazing team? Yeah, sure. There's tons of talent on this roster. Blabber, like I said, if he plays like an MVP at any point during this season, Cloud9 is going to be one of the better teams in the LCS for sure. They're going to be a team that definitely has a chance to go to Worlds, but you also have to remember that the LTAN North only has up to 2 World slots this year, and they only have 1 slot at MSI. So not only did Cloud9 maybe get a little bit worse, at least on paper, this offseason, but there's also even less spots that they're vying for and competing for in this next season, which is definitely something to remember as well. So it's very, very possible that this Cloud9 roster could end up not going to Worlds, which is never acceptable for Cloud9. Now, we do know that it sounds like Cloud9's having a little bit of budget issues, or at least wanting to cut back on their budget a little bit, and that's maybe why this roster got constructed as it did. As far as the other, potential moves they had this offseason, obviously they did bring Sven into AD carry. We did hear that Cloud9 also looked into Rin, who is the AD carry for Ramboot Club in the LVP, which is, I believe, the Spanish ERL. But they decided to prioritize an AD carry that wouldn't take up an import slot, so Sven comes in, so then they can import a mid laner. And then obviously we had Loki coming in, who they also, during this position, they considered Saint, the mid laner for D+ Kia Challengers, which that's going to be where I think a lot of Cloud9 fans get upset, because Cloud9 fans, I think, as a whole, kind of wanted Saint to be coming in. He's kind of that best available prospect from the LCK challenger scene, or like the LCK, tier 2, the Korean prospects. People were really excited about him. And once people heard that he was available, or, maybe going to be moving on to tier 1 League of Legends in 2025, a lot of people just assumed Cloud9 would be in that mix and Cloud9 would be able to get him. Now, we do know Saint had interest from a lot of different teams. Saint had interest from Koi. If they wouldn't have been able to get Jojo Pune, Saint obviously had interest from Cloud9. And then Saint also had interest from Lion Gaming, which is ultimately the team he ends up being on. So not only does Cloud9 not get Saint, but Saint goes to another team in the LCS that Cloud9 is going to be directly competing with. So that is going to be very, very interesting. And like I said, I'm sure fans are going to be a little bit upset by that. And we're going to see Loki and Saint matching up directly in the mid lane this year. And obviously, if Saint does look significantly better than Loki and kind of smacks him around and smacks Cloud9 around, I think that's going to be even harder for Cloud9 fans to swallow and harder for them to watch. Now, obviously, obviously the Jojo Pune drama and issues and stuff they had last year, getting rid of that, and getting rid of, what was maybe not even just the best fit in the team in general. Getting rid of Jojo Pune could be good in some ways, but Jojo Pune's an insane talent as well, and it's going to be hard to replace him. But it could be, kind of addition by subtraction by removing some of that drama and the I guess off the rift issues and stuff like that. So in that way, Cloud9 has a chance to bounce back. And if they have a bunch of players who, are all on the same page and all are fitting into the environment and the Cloud9 systems and all that stuff, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But the Cloud9 roster is official. To me, it looks okay. It looks strong. It looks pretty good. It looks good, not great. Good, not amazing. Good, not, what Cloud9 really wants to be or should be or has been in their history. And yeah, I think you could definitely say that Cloud9 lost the offseason. But of course, that's always the meme. That's always what we say. And then every once in a while, Cloud9 ends up surprising us. We'll have to wait and see. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Hopefully catch you in the next one. Until then, peace. Everything we are doing here at Sheep Esports for the rest of 2024 is powered by Holy. This is an awesome company that makes great tasting energy drinks that also just so happen to be healthier than the competition as well. They sent me this starter set deluxe, which comes with a Holy shaker and then 14 individual servings of Holy Energy, Holy Hydration, and Holy Iced Tea. So you get a ton of awesome stuff for a great price. And if you want to get even better price, check out the first link in the description below. Use discount code SE5 to get €5 off your first order, or SE10 to get 10% off your entire basket. If you guys want to help continue to allow us to provide the amazing coverage of both Worlds and the offseason that you guys know and love, definitely check out Holy, buy some stuff. It would mean the world to us. Thanks.